Everyone, welcome back to another episode of Forced Marriage. I hope you will like. They had a decent sleep. Despite sleeping in the evening, he fell asleep again in the Kojikin bed underneath the thick white comforter. He has saved up some money from past shows in Korea, so while he is out of a job and audition hunting, he will buy things to brighten the room. They wish that his sleep could be great and not just decent, but he had unsettling dreams, not quite nightmares, just unsettling. He first started out on a plane and the whole Jeon family, and he could feel a pair of eyes burning onto the back of his skull. He did know who, because when he looked back, it was Jungkook's apartment. He walked in and goes to the fridge, held in place by a magnet. Was a list of rules. They said each one loud, "Stay out of my way." It felt like his heart crashed into the stomach. Don't look me in my eyes. He was frozen as a hand fell on his shoulder. Don't ever mention Mom. He felt another hand, a different hand, fall on his other shoulder. Don't tell anyone I hate you. The hand pulled him backwards and onto the ground, and he saw Jungkook to the right and his father on the left. This is the moment he woke up. He never had nightmares or unsettling dreams at home, which was strange to him. He expected that nightmares would come at the place where he was living. In actual heck, they had a feeling that they weren't going to stop. His heart beat fast in his chest and his breathing was rough. Luckily that the shades of sun peeked in from the window, meaning that they didn't have to go back to bed. They got freshened up and had breakfast with Mrs. Lee as Jungkook has went to his parents' house. After helping Mrs. Lee clean up the kitchen, there was a knock on the door. The maid got the door and saw that it was Jeon Hoseok. He also had full hands, a dress bag hung over one of his arms, a shoes box he was balancing in one hand and a plastic container in the other. Mr. Jian, are you here to help get ready? Mrs. Lee asked with a smile. Of course I am. Now that I am old enough, I can finally help someone get ready for their wedding. Hoseok walked onto the penthouse as best he could, but the boy was holding too much for that he truly could handle. We found Tae in the kitchen sitting on the bar. Are you ready, Tae? Tae was a little excited. He loved getting dolled up for the stage. It was a little joy for him. Tae stood out of his seat and led Obi to his room. Hoseok dropped his top on the bed and said, "Take a shower and I will get ready to do your hair. It's okay to take your time, just relax." He said a little thanks. He rummaged through his things for his toiletries, his thin robe, and some shorts. When he was about to take a bath out of the suitcase, Hasik stopped him. With that dress, you don't have a bath. That would work. I brought a stick-on bar for you. I guessed your size because we looked about the same. It was safe to say that he was only with that. He didn't have the biggest breasts. They were quite small. However, it fit his body. They entered the bathroom for the first time. He never had a chance beforehand, but now he got a good look. The flooring changed to white clean tiles and there were two small windows. The bathroom continued the nice grey walls. He was in the shower for a good 20 minutes, just enjoying the warmth. Once he was dried off, he exited the bathroom that with a towel on top of his bed. Hoseok was lying down on his bed, swapping through Tinder. It was so annoying. All of them just want fun and I just want a relationship. Hoseok groans. Why are you on Tinder then? Take action because it is so hard to meet people in New York. It's not like I can just stop someone on the street and introduce myself, Hoseok said as he started to walk with the young boss with red hair. Sit at the desk so I can get started. Takes a seat at the dark wooden desk and Hoseok take out a blow dryer. The two were quiet because they couldn't hear themselves over the loud appliance. It was difficult for Hosea because he just wanted to talk and get to know the boy. So, did you have a boyfriend before you came here? Any heartache? Hosea said as a joking matter. He really didn't want to bring up any hard feelings just in case there was some. No, my father didn't let me date. They said with a sorrowful tone. It is true that he had crush on many boys, possibly even flirted with some of them, but dad, he knew his dad would have to have heard of it and beat him for it. You are 24. Why did you listen to him? Hosea couldn't believe that someone was still strictly listening to his parents. By the age of 18, Hosea was going by the beat of his heart, not caring about what his parents said. My father was a powerful man and a strict one. He wasn't one that you couldn't listen to, they said. At this point, Hosea started to curl his hair, turning them in a gentle waves. He also get a bad feeling from his father, something that Hobie didn't wish to bring up on the second time meeting. He changed the subject. So you have never had a boyfriend? Have you at least kissed one? Yeah, they replied actually a lot on stage. However, half of them were into girls only. Sexy, they joked. Hobie laughed at that fact, trying to picture his brother kissing a boy like they. You can call me Hyung Tae. Hobie said they continued chatting about their lives and the good part of them. Anyways, once his hair was finished and his makeup done, they got a chance to look at in the bathroom mirror with his dress bag hanging beside him. His red hair was done in a nice curls. His makeup was very now natural too. Light dewy foundation, light pink blush, glittery eyes shadow. He was happy with how he looked. He took the dress out of the dark grey bag and put it on. It was a white midi dress, perfect for New York's hot weather. He loved the dress, hoped that afterwards he could wear it again and again and again. It was simple and elegant, classy, but like casual, a little casual. He feels that with the dress he will fit in. Hobie smiled and clapped when they came out of the bathroom. Oh my god, this dress is gorgeous on you. Everyone is going to love it. This is amazing. Hasib took a second to just stare at his new friend and future brother-in-law. Oh, the shoes. The shoes were also a plain but bright white. They were tall palms, thus, and his toes would be covered by fabric. He was used to walking in heels. His father forced him into 3 to 4 inches heels at age of four, 14. He had to learn quick. He slip it and the shoes on and look it in the bathroom mirror. Hoseo came behind him. You look amazing there. I didn't do this for my brother JK. I did this for you. This is your day, a day to start over and join a new family. I am so glad that you are here. I am glad to have a chance to be your friend. This really got to Tae. He never had a chance for a family. Before Hobie could see tears rimming Taehyung's eyes, they turned around and gave him a hug. Huge hug. Thank you, Hyung. They let go from the embrace and walked down to the kitchen. They were met with Mrs. Lee, who was also wearing a very nice dress. The three of them left the penthouse together and walked round to the car. They thought as he got in the car, it's time that I get married. At courtroom, Taehyung was shaking, trembling, and just worried about getting married to a man that hates him. Inside the office of the judge who will wed the couple, stood four more people, a small portion of Jeon family, mother, father, and son, Jeon, Jungkook, and the then Kim family lawyer, making sure the wedding is true. Jungkook is not looking his best. Even on his wedding day, Jungkook woke up this morning with a massive hangover. He is already enduring a mental and emotional pain, so why not add physical pain to add it a perfect. His outfit somewhat reflected the pain. He is always best dressed, but on his wedding day, Cook is a little below average. Jungkook is not in a full suit. He, like his father, and like how he would dress for work, he believes that they doesn't deserve to see him at his best. He wore pants that he found ugly, maroon slacks. The shirt was just average, a long white sleeve button up to match the pants. He wore the maroon sports jacket that came with it, no tie, brown belt, and brown shoes completed the outfit. Overall, he didn't look bad, but to himself, he looked like a total trash. While the judge was getting ready for the wedding and getting together the marriage license, Mr. John found a perfect time to scold his son. I know you hate that suit with a burning passion. Why are you wearing it? All Jungkook did in return was roll his eyes. This fueled his father's anger. You are ridiculous, Jungkook. Your mother and I raised you better than this. You think this sweet boy wants to marry and freak like you? I am not ridiculous. I am angry at you, at this mysterious boy. He could have said no to all of this. He had a choice. I don't care that he did it for his father's company. I don't know those people and I don't care about that business going under. Not my problem. Mr. John was taken aback by his son's disgusting wash, but he was not speechless. You need to get out of the play of sick you climbed upon. You are not invincible. You grew up and had a great life. Your mother and I treated all of you guys so well, loved and hard, and gave you whatever you wanted. Not everyone lived like you. Many had worse, and you need to remember and respect that. Mr. Jian walked over to his wife and whispered in her ear, at this point, I have no hope in Jungkook. I am absolutely disgusted by my son, worse than what he did in high school. Mrs. Jeon agreed with her husband, but I have hope in Taehyung will help him change his mind. At this time, Taehyung, Hobi, and Mrs. Lee all walk into the judge's office. Mrs. Jeon started to fan over Tae, telling her son Hobi what a great job he did. They gave her a sweet smile. The judge came back into the office with papers. Okay, the couple needs to sign these papers for the marriage license and then we will proceed to the uni. Jungkook still doesn't want to look at Tae, but he does. Big glance, they look beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Jungkook almost felt guilty for what he was wearing, but he had put himself back in the midst that he was the enemy. The people are in front of Taehyung as he signed his name. He and Mr. Jeon agreed in Seoul that they would keep his surname and not take the Jeon name. It was done to keep Jungkook happy, while Taehyung was completely focused on the task present to him. Jungkook's mind was everywhere and nowhere to at once. Jungkook was shaking his leg and playing with the skin by his fingernails over and over again. Taehyung had drove his family crazy, but they didn't even notice. It took a few minutes and some name calling for Jungkook to finish signing his stuff. Then they all walked together onto another place so that the couple could be married. The actual ceremony wasn't supposed to be long. They would say the vows and then they say adios. And the case, the couple, Taehyung and Jungkook stood across each other. Tae was looking right at him, but Jungkook was looking all over the place, continued to tap his foot on the and pick at his skin. At this point, Mr. Jan had to place a hand on Jungkook's shoulder and give him a look Cook knew all too well. The judge started the basic vows said at every wedding ever, and they said, I do, very quietly. It wasn't supposed to come off as shy, but he was just nervous about his response. What if he said no? That would make things a little awkward around the family. The judge looks but the judge looked towards Jungkook and repeated the same thing. When it was Jungkook's turn to say the two infamous words, Jungkook was in another land entirely. This time it was Taehyung's turn to snap him back to the reality. Jungkook, hey, Jungkook. This brought Jungkook's eyes back to the boy for the first time today. Taehyung gave him a sweet smile. It's your turn to say the words. Jungkook, almost enchanted by the sweet smile, said, I do. You may kiss the bride, the judge says. With a bored look, he saw no chemistry between the couple and knew that they weren't going to last long. For all he knew, the bride could just be pregnant. I am sorry, but we are going to escape out on this part. I am very shy and I want my first kiss to be undone in private with my new husband. They give a bigger smile to Jungkook, beat a fake smile. They knew how to read the room and knew that Jungkook did not want to kiss him. The judge understood. Okay, I am pronouncing you husband and wife. The rest of the family clapped for the couple because they were generally happy for them. They fall in love with Tae after one day, and of course they love Jungkook. Even if their relationship would produce no love, they are happy that the two have each other. They has new friends and an amazing support system for Jungkook's family. Jungkook also got a new friend and he surely has new few of those. It might be possible that he can even help him with his own problem, not directly, but of course, but in a slight way that will make his day easier. Jungkook still stood and shocked. Did he fake that smile to manipulate him? To Jungkook, make Jungkook fall for him. Jungkook saw his skills when he manipulated the judge so that they didn't have to guess. Cookie started speculating about the boy now, how Taehyung is going only with his rules to make Jungkook fall for him. Jungkook is refusing to fall in love with such a beautiful young boy. No, Jungkook thought he is the like Davis Bond. They all walk out together to grab an early dinner at Jungkook's favorite restaurant. There wasn't anything that happened at dinner. They and the rest of the family were being polite. They all talked together, but the topic of conversation was on Tae. They all wanted to know him more. They were just captivated. Jungkook, on the other hand, was out of focus. He would go between going on his phone and scrolling to staring off onto space. He definitely wasn't listening to the conversation. He couldn't focus on just one thing. His mind was running at 6 miles an hour. He couldn't stop going over different reasons for Taehyung's smile at the wedding. Jungkook couldn't see that the fact that he was just being polite and was trying to grab his attention. No malic thoughts behind it. After dinner, Mrs. Lee, Jungkook and Taehyung were all dropped off at the penthouse. It was quite night for everyone. Mrs. Lee studied the kitchen more and developed a list to go shopping. Jungkook was exhausted from the day and went to bed where he crashed and fell asleep. They started unpacking his clothes and important toiletries. His stuff was coming the next day and planned on spending the day unpacking. When he was finished, he put on his pajamas, grabbed the laptop that he kind of stole from his dead father, and got onto bed. He planned on watching a movie on Netflix, but he came to a problem. He didn't know the Wi-Fi password. Taekook and dropped his head onto his hand. This means that they had to go to bother the monster of the house, Jungkook, which means breaking rule 1, but it was a necessity. They got out of bed and walked to the master bed. He knocked on the door, no answer, but the door was slightly open. They pushed it open, peeked his head in. For a second, he believed that Jungkook was going to scream at him, run out of the room, but quite the opposite. Jungkook was fast asleep on the bed. He looked so calm and relaxed, peaceful for once. They decided not to go on his computer tonight and just let Jungkook sleep. Next day, Jungkook woke up at his usual time, 6:30, after the wedding and dinner with the part of his family. He was faced with so tired. This morning, Jungkook was still feeling tired, but what got worse was his behavior. He woke up already irritated. If someone even tried to bother him, Jungkook was going to start singing. He got changed onto workout clothes and went on stage to make his protein shake. Already downstairs and dressed for the day, drinking coffee at the kitchen bar was Mrs. Lee. Good morning, sir. Would you like me to make something for you? Mrs. Lee asked. In a hushed tone, Jungkook didn't want to lash on at the poor old lady. She was just being polite to control his mood. He took a deep breath in and out through his teeth. He said, "No, I like to cook on my own. Please do not ask again. If I need something from you, I will address you." He blamed up his protein shake and left in a hurry up the stairs. For the majority of morning, Jungkook woke out in frustration. They woke up in the mid-morning from another stress-filled dream. They seem to be getting worse. He doesn't want to call them nightmares after afraid of the consequences they bring. This time he was at his wedding, but at a church he was wearing a long white gown similar to the original. Beside he was his father to walk him down the aisle. He is in the dream tried to struggle, but his white hairs were stuck on the ground. No matter how much he tried to move, he could not leave the spot. His father, with his classic sinister grin, the grin that came alongside pain for them, he grabbed his arm and dragged him to the altar. His father kicked and they fought it, did nothing. Mr. came through his song beside a pair of feet. They looked up to the owner of the pair of shoes. It was young Jungkook with the same grin as his father had. He woke up at this point in the dream with his heart racing. He wanted to get out of the bed right away and wash away the awful dream he had, so he did just that. The shower was scowling like he wanted to burn whatever sign they had of his body. He put his hand on the shower wall, hung his head low to let the water slide down his back, and just breathe. He just needed a second to regain his strength to put a figure. Once out of the shower, he put on some comfy clothes, just black shorts and a large short sleeve shirt. Nothing interesting, just something to move in kitchen. He drank coffee and ate some oatmeal. He was feeling rather bored today. He didn't know how to explain what he was feeling. Maybe empathy. At the first house, everything happened so fast. His father would hit him, called him names, and threatened him day in, day out. When he was done with his food, there was a knock on the door just as they thought it was the moves with his stuffs. He got Mrs. Lee's attention and together with the mover they went downstairs to the truck. After about two trips up and down in the elevator, all the boxes were in the penthouse. Around this time, Jungkook finished walking out. He walked down the third floor stairs and looking over the balcony. He saw Taehyung and the maid below his with a few boxes. He let out a sigh, pinched and the bridge of his nose, and went to the room to shower. The two men did not notice Cook picking on them and just continued their day. They carried all the boxes to their individual rooms and started unpacking. They didn't pack much, and what he did was mostly his mom's, the object that they loved the most, and the biggest item was his mom's mirror. It was a gorgeous rectangular mirror that could show the full body, one shiny golden gold borders and edges with ornate details. When he was younger, he would play dress up in his mother's clothing and stand in the mirror. They placed the mirror in the corner since it was too heavy to hang up. After he was done with all his packing, he wanted to watch something, how to spend his time and divert his mind. He grabbed his computer from his room and knocked on the door to the study, which was where Mrs. Lee said Jungkook would be. What? Jungkook roared from inside the office. They flinched a little from the noise but carried on in a timid voice. Hi, it's me. I was wondering what the Wi-Fi password was so that I can do some work on my computer. There was a silence, then storms. Then the door flew open. Jungkook stood in the doorway, towering over the little boy. They stood below the man, trembling. It started to trigger bad memories as Jungkook screamed, I told you not to bother me, Eva. Today you came with all your boxes and manage making noise while I am trying to do my work. Get out of my freaking face, you little bot. During this mini rant, Tay closed his eyes and placed his arms around his body to protect himself and the computer. Tay still stood up strong. If his posture was weak, it would be easier for him to fall down and for anyone to kick him. They flinched at the last sentence, worried that Jungkook was going to be worse. They carefully took a step back. However, Jungkook slammed the door in his face. Even though it only lasted a few seconds, he was distraught and confused. Old memories started to resurface. Old feelings bubbled up as well. Mrs. Lee heard Jungkook screaming at his little Tete and came running up the stairs to comfort him like how she always did. She found Thay standing by the door frozen. She didn't know what to do. Her mind locked up. Mrs. Lee placed a gentle hand behind Thay and so Thay turned his head to look at his granny. Tears lined up his eyes. Once he saw her, his eyes poured down his face. He started sobbing that Taehyung was sorry and didn't mean to break the rules. He could feel his heart beating in his chest, afraid that it was going to fall out. It was a reaction he did when something wrong, and now he had to apologize. He always saw these things as his fault. He thought he was safe, but that was the biggest mistake. Mrs. Lee get him back to his room and laid him down under the cover. He held bubbling Tete until they fall asleep. Back at the home office, Jungkook was passing back and forth. He was frustrated for no reason. The two persons barely made a noise while unpacking in their rooms, but the barely is still something. Every single noise felt like nails on the chalkboard to Jungkook. Noise usually doesn't annoy him this much, but today was an extra special day for him. He didn't want to yell at Taehyung. It's not his fault for not knowing the Wi-Fi password. It was a simple request. However, seeing his face just pushed Jungkook over the edge. As for Jungkook, Taehyung is the one who is caused of these all problems in his life. After getting his frustration out, Jungkook is just left to stand there with the feeling of guilt. Sleepy, he left his office once he was done with work and saw that Taehyung's door was open. Jungkook couldn't help but peek in and saw that what is going on. His cold heart broke just a little bit. Taehyung was lying on the bed and Mrs. Lee holding him. His cries have died down and become more of a whimper while Tae quietly mumbled, "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to break the rules. It's my fault." Mrs. Lee just sat as a support, telling him that everything was going to be okay. Did Jungkook really do this? He was really never really brought someone to tears before. Not like this. Jungkook wanted to pity the boy, not for not having a strong enough backbone to stand someone yelling at him. However, pity wasn't the emotion Jungkook could bear, feeling that he has seen too much it and it has disturbed his mind more. Jungkook went to his room for the night. To be continued. That was the episode. Don't forget to tell me in the comment section. And what do you think about that character of Taekook? Comment it down. I will see you in the next episode of this FF. Till then, take care of yourself. Bye bye.